What is going on, everyone? Welcome back to another episode of Crypto Catch Up with me, Benny. Now, I'm so sorry, guys. It's been like 2 weeks since I've done a video. Have I been slack? Hell no. But have I been busy? Yes. I've been busy because I'm coming up. I've got a blockchain conference here in Brisbane, Australia this Friday that I'm speaking at in terms of blockchain's role for payment modernization. But I've also been doing a few other things in terms of speaking on panels and getting the word out there for crypto. Now, if you are from around the world, Brisbane, Australia is where the first crypto airport is going to be from a company here in Australia called Travel by Bit, who is doing amazing things in the space. Now, we are bringing you a new project tonight. This is like really new. Like I'm talking 300 people on Telegram, maybe one Medium article, one tweet. It is super new. But what I've liked about it is that their white paper reads extremely well. It is not full of buzzwords. It is down to earth, normal, technical, keywords that anybody would know within the industry. It's not trying to sell you some spiel of something that is unattainable. So we'll go through that. I'd also like to let you all know that I am using a new Rode NT USB microphone. Now that's not a shill. That is simply, hopefully my voice sounds like a radio host, nice and crisp and clear, because I've got a bloody head like a watermelon. So let's get into it and have a look at this OneLedger project. So it is a universal blockchain enabling cross-ledger access with some business elements to it. Now, when we talk cross-ledger, we're saying that it's agnostic. It doesn't care if you're a Bitcoin. It doesn't care if you're Ethereum. All it really is caring for is that you're a HTLC. So like a hash time-locked contract. Now, with that, we'll get into it a little bit further, but that is the caveat really as to what is cross-ledger in this regard. So it's a high-performance blockchain with sharding and a modified Byzantine fault tolerance consensus mechanism, which wasn't covered off in the actual white paper. So I have got some questions out for the team in regards to that, because obviously sharding is a big thing from Zilliqua to other projects such as Ethereum. It offers permissioned and permissionless, so a public or private blockchain. They give you the ability to pick, but they also give you the ability to use both. It has sidechain sync with, like I said, that HTLC, which we'll go into a little bit later. Off-chain scaling, just like your Lightning networks, and obviously high transaction throughput. It has a smart identity management system built in, which really hits home for me. This is something that is huge in my personal world. I care about the unbanked. I care about how decentralized blockchains are actually bringing about change to the unbanked and de-risked parts of the world, such as the Middle East, India, Africa, because there is 2 billion people in this world that do not have access to bank accounts like you and I might have. And by getting a bank account, a lot of the time you need to have know your customer. No, what do I mean a lot of the time? You always need to have know your customer information, a passport, a driver's license, some form of identity, which a lot of these people don't have. So that's massive for me. I can see the value in it straight away, and I'm very happy that it's a part of their platform. They have role control, so they can choose in that permission nature whether you have access to see something or you don't, read or write, or even viewing. It is, like I said, an enterprise-grade blockchain, and they are going to be building out modularized API levels. So that stands for Application Programming Interface. Effectively, it opens up a portion of the system for other areas or other businesses to interact with that portion of the chain or your own dApp on the network, which makes it great for interoperability. They're going to build out some software development kits to enable businesses to quickly deploy their own software on this particular platform. It's using IPFS, so Interplanetary File System, which is great in terms of storing more than just a contract, but data and other things on the network. Multi-chain dApps, so dApps that work across multiple different chains. There will be a business center tools suite to, like I said, to enable this kind of building out of your use case, building out of your business requirements. They have something called a resilient distributed blocks. Now this is required because we are talking about enabling Bitcoin, Ethereum, other chains to actually talk with this main chain of the OneLedger mainnet. And by doing so, some of them are going to have different block heights at different times, and therefore we need to be able to, trace a kind of history within the Merkle root of that to understand, what is the truth of that at any one time. And it is going to be coming out as an initial ERC20 token called OLT, and then moving later on to their own platform. So let's get into some current business issues as to why this could be of value to small to medium enterprises, or even you as a potential investor. Now, this is not financial advice. All right, guys, so scalability, I'm not going to harp on it, but it is obviously a big deal. Businesses fail to scale. Jeez, did that rhyme? Man, that's good. Interoperability and integration. So currently, a lot of these chains can't talk to each other. So we're seeing a bit around atomic swaps. Recently with Yggdrash project, which has just gone pre-ICO, they are talking about having that native integration. Once again, that's a problem for a lot of these projects, because how can you have a dApp on Ethereum and not be able to use it anywhere else? Cross-chain communication, same kind of thing there. Role access and compliance. So a lot of these organizations have some form of compliance or regulation that they must meet, whether it be governmental or other factors. This is an issue for them. How do they control that? Existing legacy systems. So when they're moving to these new chains, how do they move over from their legacy systems if there is no way to communicate with old or even external systems via a common API gateway? And a multi-network deployment for dApps. So what I mean by that is that you can't deploy your dApp, like I said earlier, on Ethereum and then somewhere else and then somewhere else, because it requires you to code it in a range of different languages, which is quite hard to do. So what does OneLedger bring to the table? Well, let's have a look at the tech, and we'll go through and explore some key concepts. So the icons down the bottom from left to right, they're talking about an enterprise blockchain, scalability, SDK, and a consensus algorithms. So let's first have a look at this smart identity management platform. Like I said, guys, this is really big for me. I'm about to do a speech in a couple of days talking about one of these factors specifically. There is huge amounts of money every year, $380 billion, million dollars, 2015, that was practically not obtained for businesses because they de-risked countries as a whole. They said, nope, sorry, you don't have this information, don't want to know about you. So this smart identity management platform is going to allow for identity management across multiple chains within the OneLedger ecosystem. It's going to use a master key pair, so a public and private key, and with that public key, it can be shared across multiple chains, which allows for that master key to know, obviously, what is the identity of that individual at any one time across all the chains within the network. It's a universal identity solution, and it allows you to actually assign a trust value to somebody within the network, which is very handy if you are going to be what we'll talk about in the very next point. And it does have PKI, so public key infrastructure is used for businesses. Once again, I've got a question out for the team in relation to PKI keys because they are expensive. So we'll have a look at that in a second to see if they've responded to me during this time. You can actually search for identities across the network for somebody that might be running a node or infrastructure and assign them to actually maintain your node. So you can use that by using their trust profile. And like I said, you can utilize this across any chain that supports the hashed time-locked contracts. All right, so Modularize API Gateway. So what is that? So what I'm talking about here is these businesses, they need a common platform to talk to this OneLedger protocol. So it enables a verifiable and realizable network. Now, what I've said here in the terms of a common framework is that it uses a standard in terms of that API, RESTful APIs they are using. And it's similar to ISO 20022, which is the actual financial standards messaging format. It enables the chain to talk to these outer gateways in a common way, which will enable, any business to come on board, which is great for scaling out, not only for speed, but also to a larger audience to utilize this product. Once again, IPFS and sidechains, and it has that kind of oracle nature. Now, it's not talked about as actually having oracles, and if you're not sure what oracles are, it's another add-on to a smart contract which enables real-time data from the actual real world to be passed into a smart contract to find out whether a contract is true or not at any given time due to sensor data or anything like that. But this is kind of what it's enabling there. All right, we've got the chain code service. Now, this is a fancy name for a dApp. So they're practically providing the ability to build out dApps and deploy them on their network. They're going to be offering multi-platform, multi-language deployment. So what I mean by that is that within this chain code compiling engine, it's like this master smart contract, which is the next point. And with that master smart contract, you can actually select what languages you then would like to deploy to or what networks. So you write this one contract, it then works it out, compiles it, fix up obviously any erroneous features there, and deploy that across multiple networks at the one time. And you have that single deployment to do all of that. Once again, question out for the team on that one. So the overall architecture, what do we have going on here? So one of the big things here is that identity management system, this business center here. So it allows you as a business to map your business model, to map your process flows. So you can build out, let's say a shopping cart, but you might have multiple elements to the shopping cart. You can actually get developers from all around the world to build their individual plugins and then link that flow together within the business model, and it will come through this business center here and connect to the OpenLedger protocol. And like I said, you've got these side chains here, which is within this OneLedger network. All right, now that is certainly not all the tech. There is actually a whole heap more in the white paper, guys, but that is the main points I want to cover off. If you are keen on a open platform like this, which is enabling modularization, it's enabling any business to get involved, to utilize chains across, multiple facets. That is really important. And what I just want to talk about actually in terms of the HTLC, so the hash time lock contracts, practically it's a hash and a time, and the two different variables there is that practically unless you publicly push some data up, that hash locks your actual receiver's address to practically stop anybody from changing anything at any one time. And same thing with a time lock. It puts a time lock on for a period of time to make sure that you can really just take a snapshot of that and talk back and forth between those chains. Let's have a look at the team here quickly, guys. So this is the main team, and they do have a list of advisors. Now, it's not a team built of blocks, chain superstars or big names from blockchain currently. It is just a team which knows the language that they've used in the white paper. So the CEO is worked with IBM on DB2, which is database, WebSphere, which is APIs or middleware kind of platform built by IBM, and is a J2EE Java enterprise architect. Excuse me, the CTA, or the chief technical advisor in this circumstance, is a former CTO of Presto and the former CEO of Trust to Pay. The lead engineer, Stephen Lee, there worked for Morgan Stanley, Deutsche Bank, IBM, Microsoft, and is now a keen dev for the smart contracts for Ethereum. And then a few other people in the team. I'm not going to go through, but the team checks out in terms of their profiles. They are all on LinkedIn. They are all linked to the OpenLedger project, so check that out. Let's have a look at some of these partners. So they are currently partnering with Polymath, which is huge, to audit their platform, which is great, and a few others there. So we're not talking big time partners here. Like I said, this is a brand new project, very new in this space. So we hope to see more partnerships into the future. All right, let's have a look at the token economics, or the tokenomics. All right, let's jump in here. Boom, there we go. So 100 million of them OLT available, and a very low hard cap. How good is that? 15 million USD. That is very low in terms of the current projects. So that is good to see. Now with the sale distribution there, obviously taking up a large portion, and they're actually keeping some aside for the community reserve, which is subject to a range of lockup periods, which you can see below here on the right hand side. So the team reserved the lock for 24 months. And if you're not sure what that means for the team, guys, well, it means that they have to work hard. They want to see the value of their own tokens increase over time. So deliver a bloody good platform, and then obviously reward yourself later on. And that is the tokenomics as a whole. If we have a look at the roadmap, once again, from left to right, top to bottom, so they've done their final white paper. We are now in Q1 of 2018, where they're looking to launch their Ethereum sidechain testnet, and obviously start synchronizing some of their build, implement and optimize cross-chain consensus, which is very good to see early on in this piece. They have certainly got a big 2018 ahead of them. All right, so final thoughts there, guys. So for me, like I said, I like this platform because it does cover a big area of business. It has a strong use case in terms of enabling multiple businesses, multiple parties, whether you be an individual, a small to medium enterprise, to connect via a particular type of chain, build out your own dApp, and be able to have that ecosystem that can talk to any other chain that has that hash TLC. Other than that, guys, like I said, very new project, so it's not something that we can, talk a lot about anymore. We'll just have a quick jump over to their website. So it is OneLedger.io. Check that out, go through, read the white paper and all of that. Their GitHub here does have some work. It has been updated 9 hours ago, so it's ready to rock and roll. They're doing some work in there, which is good to see. This is their Twitter. So like I said, 4 tweets. This is new as, guys, like super new stuff. 1 article there on Medium, 1 thing on Reddit, and a little spiel about their team here on LinkedIn. And this is their white paper. Like I said, guys, this is actually their OneLedger official channel. That's me here asking questions around the PKI keys, around some other information. A lot of it I've got answers to, but there's things outstanding, which I wrote down here in terms of Byzantine fault tolerance that I want to see more information on, the SDKs, sharding, how they're going to implement that, and incentivization and security. Those are things that are not covered in the white paper, but once again, please don't go run around saying scam this, scam that, because it's not the case, guys. This is an early platform. We go out, we ask the members of this team, for further comment, and hopefully from there we'll get the answers that we need. All right, guys, thanks for listening in. I hope you have had a good 2 weeks. I know the market is absolutely tanking at the moment. Stay strong, look at your strategy, make sure you're picking the right things to get into at this point in time. Obviously, I will catch you later. Make sure you like and subscribe. We got to get this out there. I promise to get on more for you guys. Cheers.